Imagine you have tons of money, and the government is going to tax a lot of it. However, you don't want the government to take your money, so you take it and put it in a secret wallet in the Pacific Ocean. The Panama Papers case was a data leak during which a lot of famous, rich people were exposed for hiding all their money in wallets called offshore shell companies. Before we can continue, you should first understand what offshore shell companies are. Shell refers to the structure of the corporation itself, hollow and empty inside. It has no active business operations where it buys or sells anything. Nor does it have any significant assets, which really just means that it isn't worth a lot. Offshore means that it is registered in another country, far from where the wealthy live. However, if shell companies are apparently so useless, then why are they so popular amongst the well-off? It's because these companies are secretive and untraceable. You see, shell corporations are sometimes used for tax avoidance or to achieve a specific goal, such as being rich yet anonymous. Take Bob. He's rich and obviously has lots and lots of money. But where would he put that money? Of course, in our minds, he'd put them in an ultra-safe bank with top security, right? Not exactly. Word may get around that Bob entrusted a large sum of money to that bank. Plus, if Bob deposits the money in a regular bank account, it can be easily traced back to him. And if, by chance, Charlie found out that Bob is rich, being the selfish man he is at heart, Charlie may ask Bob for money. Because Bob wants Charlie to keep quiet, he has to give Charlie that money. Now, what if you were Bob? What would you do? In this case, the optimal choice for Bob would be to open shell corporations, to use as secret wallets for years to come, so that he can anonymously access the money stored in it when he needs it and keep his wealth a secret. The Panama Papers are what people call the huge data leak that occurred in early to mid-2016. The leaked data consisted of approximately 2.6 terabytes, which is 80 times more than what your average iPhone can store. The leakage contained millions of files, emails, images, documents, and so on and so forth from many rich people who were trying to legally avoid paying their taxes. Now, the keyword here is legal. What they're doing isn't prohibited by law. While the media has painted all shell companies in a bad light, there are legitimate reasons for having an untraceable, seemingly anonymous company. And also note that tax evasion, which is completely not paying any taxes, is illegal, whilst tax avoidance, where one uses lawful ways to reduce the amount of tax they have to pay, is legal. Nonetheless, many people did not appreciate the lengths the affluent went to try to save some money, especially since a lot of them were already so wealthy. These lost taxes could have went to building schools and helping the poor. This is why the Panama Papers caused public outrage. People were furious that rich people could avoid paying taxes without legal consequences. On top of that, the Panama Papers case was such a big deal because it exposed the corruption of many high-profile leaders, such as the presidents of Argentina and Ukraine and the UAE, and hundreds of other world leaders, who are supposed to be the most transparent and trustworthy people in the world. Thus, people suspect that these offshore shell companies are being used to hide corruption and bribes taken from these world leaders. But it's not just the people involved in tax avoidance. Even those who were not directly involved also suffered when their relatives and close associates were identified in the files. Now, you may be wondering, who exactly leaked this data? The whistleblower remains anonymous to this day, though a few months after the Panama Papers, he published a manifesto detailing why he had leaked the data. He was purportedly motivated by income inequality and corruption. Now imagine that late one night in early 2015, Bastian Obermeier, a German investigative journalist, received a message from an unusual anonymous source. "Hello, this is John Doe. Interested in data?" Obermeier replied, "We're very interested, of course." After this, the papers were published and became accessible to all. The names disclosed in the documents led to public outcry, and you know what happened next. The Panama Papers is a tale of legal loopholes, greedy politicians, and shady businessmen. We aim to spark thinking about this debatable topic. Why are these people so secretive with their money? Is there really a need to hide what you have, even if through lawful means? How far should the financial privacy of the rich be protected? How do we balance privacy and transparency? On the other hand, how legitimate is it for someone to go behind the veil and find out who owns the offshore shell corporation? How does this affect our view on secrecy, the legal system, and the world? These are all for you to decide. To conclude, we hope you enjoyed our storytelling.